He's the tallest man on the radio, so sit right back and enjoy the show. Flying through the air like a ballistic missile. Here's your host, Ben Kissel.
Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to Ben Kissel Politics, the greatest political program going today. I am Ben Kissel on Instagram at BenKissel1, joined by Kyle Plouffe.
Hey.
At Kyle Plouffe. Thank you all so much for listening or watching on Patreon. Go to patreon.com/diebud. Contribute, comment, watch every episode live. Disagree, agree, whatever you want to do. Whatever you want. You get to do it. Also, okbudpod@gmail.com. Shoot us an email. Let us know your thoughts politically. Send us pictures of your pets, your pies, whatever the hell you want to share. We're going to be here for you.
Yeah.
And we're going to receive it, and we're going to say thank you. And I will post on Wednesday for Hump Day Fan Pet Post Wednesdays on my Instagram.
Yes.
Pretty exciting. We have a lot of serious things to get to today. And of course, we will be serious about it because we're not all staring into the abyss, staring into the nuclear explosion in the sky that we are seeing on a daily basis as society continues to do what societies have always done, which is barely hold on.
Oh, God. Sounds like me.
Let's start. I know. Kyle's in a mood. Kyle's parents are visiting. Give him some god-dang empathy. Although he's got fantastic parents.
Yeah, they're great.
Israel, Palestine. That little thing. We're going to talk about it, and I want to talk about it from the perspective of media coverage and obviously from the perspective of what is going on on the ground. As of very recently, we just had 111 Palestinians killed, including 91 of those seeking aid. What's happening right now is the aid that is being sent to Gaza is not going through. The Israeli military forces are stopping it at the border. Also, you have ragtag, rogue groups of gangs going around and pilfering things. It is not good whatsoever. The people who need the aid the most are not getting it. You wouldn't know that if you watch American media because we see one side specifically over and over and over again. And of course, that is the side that Benjamin Netanyahu represents. I want to start today with a clip from a fella named John Stockwell. He is a CIA officer, and he was a whistleblower. He blew the whistle on the Angolan Civil War. Basically, what happened was the U.S. was involved in the Angolan Civil War in 1975, and he talks about how the U.S. isn't necessarily there to put people in power that support democracy. They want to put people in power that support their economic gain. Democracy in the United States, the idea that we spread it internationally is one of the biggest lies that we have ever been told. And I want to play John Stockwell. After this, we're going to play a clip from Lindsey Graham, who is, I believe, on Meet the Press, speaking out of both sides of his asshole. So let's play John Stockwell here exposing some truth.
Another thing is to disseminate propaganda to influence people's minds. And this is a major function of the CIA. 400 journalists cooperating with the CIA, including some of the biggest names in the business, to consciously introduce the stories into the press.
Well, give me a concrete example of how you use the press this way, how a false story is planted and how you got it published.
Well, for example, in my war, the Angola War that I helped to manage, 1/3 of my staff was propaganda. Ironically, it's called covert action inside the CIA. Outside, that means the violent part. I had propagandists all over the world, principally in London, Kinshasa, and Zambia. We would take stories which we would write and put them in the Zambia Times, and then pull them out and send them to a journalist on our payroll in Europe. But his cover story, you see, would be that he had gotten them from his stringer in Lusaka, who had gotten them from the Zambia Times. we had the complicity of the government of Zambia, Kenneth Kaunda, if you will, to put these false stories into his newspapers. But after that point, the journalists, Reuters and AFP, the management was not witting of it.
Wow.
Now, our contact man in Europe was. And we pumped just dozens of stories about Cuban atrocities, Cuban rapists. In one case, we had the Cuban rapists caught and tried by the Ovimbundu maidens who had been their victims. And then we ran photographs that made almost every newspaper in the country of the Cubans being executed by the Ovimbundu women who supposedly had been their victims.
These were fake photos?
Oh, absolutely. We didn't know of one single atrocity committed by the Cubans. It was pure, raw, false propaganda to create an illusion of communists, eating babies for breakfast and that sort of totally false propaganda.
We did have our friend Julie. She just went to Shanghai for a month. And I was like, how is it? And she's like, they have a thriving middle class and everyone seems to be doing great. I'm like, okay, fantastic.
Wow, how's that?
Obviously, issues take place everywhere in this world, but certainly when it comes to the propaganda that everyone else is a bunch of baby eaters, baby killers, and rapists.
Yeah.
That is the idea that is propagated so often by these intelligence communities. And obviously, when it comes to Israel, they have the best of the best of the best.
Yeah.
The Israeli intelligence forces, as we saw with what they did regarding the beepers, where they had an entire 2-year-long program. They set up a bunch of fake proxy companies, and they were like, Taliban, Al-Qaeda, whatever, Hamas, you in the business of terrorism, this is the beeper for you. And then they bought the beepers, and they all exploded and killed many of them. And that was a 2-year-long fake company that they created. And those people willfully bought those beepers. It's unbelievable what they're able to do. Nice thing about modern era. Yeah, we've talked about AI. We've talked a lot about some of the issues with tech coming through. Wyoming, as a matter of fact, AI is about to use more energy than all of the people of Wyoming combined in that state.
Oh, that's good.
We're going to have to figure that out. Again, water supply, it is finite because of the way that the powers that be operate. Look at Nestle, things of that nature. The water wars might be coming sooner than we think. Hopefully, all of the people fighting for free water are as hot as Lori Petty in Tank Girl.
Ooh.
You ever see
She
Tank?
was hot.
What a banger. Also,
Orange is the New Black version.
Oh, yeah, that's right. She's in Orange is the New Black also.
Yeah, she looks like Ellen DeGeneres.
Ellen DeGeneres.
In not a good way in that. Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
That's what she looks like now.
All right. I don't know. I don't judge propaganda. That sounds like Kyle propaganda to me.
Yeah.
And I ain't going to be here for it.
Propaganda at them titties.
The water wars are real, and they are coming. Going back, when it comes to propaganda, it is unbelievably easy to convince people that something is real when it is not. And it is only becoming easier, again, with the rise of AI and things of that nature. One of the positives is we do have people with boots on the ground who are able to film some of the atrocities, in this case taking place in Gaza, that counteract the massive mainstream media narrative. So there are benefits to having cameras in everybody's pockets. There's no denying that. Nonetheless, they try. I want to play this clip of Lindsey Graham. Now, Lindsey Graham is a bootlicker, not just in the bedroom, but to the extreme. The only reason he loved his boy John McCain was because John McCain was a war hawk. I have respect for John McCain in many ways. His foreign policy was far too aggressive. It'll probably happen if you spent a couple of years in Hanoi being annoyed by a bunch of people who want you and your kin dead. I get that. But my God, Lindsey Graham, talk about somebody in the closet who is so desperate to be seen as a tough boy.
Yeah.
So he can get a pat on the back by big oil, by big tech, and say, you did it, Lindsey, good job. And then he says, did I do a good job, Daddy? And they say yes. And then he says, can I show you my ladybugs? Which is truly what he calls the birthmarks, the little moles that he has on his asshole.
Oh my God.
He calls them his little ladybugs.
Those are anal warts, bro.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah, dude who fucked them. He told, and it could be fake, I don't know, but I want to, this is a piece of fake news that I want to hear.
Yeah.
And it could very well be fake. It sounds too good to be true, but he was a male prostitute. And he was like, yeah, I banged Lindsey Graham. He calls all the moles on his asshole as ladybugs.
Oh my God.
But speaking of which, we'll get to Lindsey Graham in a second. Small offshoot here. I met with Roger Stone a couple of times, the real scumbag with the Nixon tattoo. And he was the one who spread the rumor that Elliot Spitzer, the former governor of New York, wore black socks while he was banging that that hooker.
Yeah.
Right? But now there's no word if he wore black socks in bed or not. But Roger Stone planted that story, and because of that, they're like, he's weird. He wears black socks while he's banging this chick out.
Yeah, the old knee highs.
The old knee highs. It just paints a picture in the minds of the voters. And then for them, they're like, well, that's so specific. Why would somebody lie about that? That's the whole point.
Yeah,
Did he
exactly.
wear black socks while fucking... What was her name? I'm blanking. Not Sydney Leathers. That's the one who banged Anthony Weiner. I actually liked the chick that he had sex with. She did a little column in the New York Post for a while. And she was cute. She was funny. I actually really liked her. But the point is...
Roxana Garand?
No, that's probably another one.
Liz Smith?
No, that's probably another one. Oh, not girlfriend. No, we're talking prostitute.
Yeah.
Yeah, not girlfriend whatsoever.
Ashley Dupree?
There we go. Ashley Dupree. She was I like Ashley Dupree. Ashley, if you're single, call me.
Hey,
We're
he's got his black socks on.
yeah, I got my black socks on. I really do. They're orthopedic. Yeah. So don't come after me.
Yeah, they really constrict.
But the point is, the more specific, the more like, why would anybody even make that up? The chances that it's made up are greater, because that just plants a seed in the mind of the voter that this guy, he's not like us.
Yeah.
Let's go to Lindsey Graham talking about his hawkish views regarding Israel and how, you know what? The two-state solution. Remember that? Remember hearing about the two-state solution? We're going to have the Palestinians and the Israelis. They're going to live side by side harmoniously. That's now gone. That's off the table.
Oh.
We are full on nation building, nation destroying to nation build.
He took it off the table while he got bent over on it.
Exactly. Exactly. Why does it have a bunch of splooge in the war room? Yeah. Well, you don't want to know what the real war is.
There's ladybugs in my war room.
Exactly. So the two-state solution, the solution that many people promised that the Israelis were going after, they just want peace. They just want peace. Now they're saying the quiet part out loud. They don't give a shit whatsoever. Let's listen to Lindsey Graham and his ladybugs.
I think what the topic we're talking about today is a change in strategy. I think President Trump has come to believe, and I certainly have come to believe, there's no way you're going to negotiate an end to this war with Hamas. Hamas is a terrorist organization who is chartered to destroy the state of Israel. They're religious Nazis. They hold Israeli hostages. I think Israel's come to conclude that they can't achieve a goal of ending the war with Hamas that would be satisfactory to the safety of Israel. And if they're going to do in Gaza what we did in Tokyo and Berlin, take the place by force, then start over again, presenting a better future for the Palestinians, hopefully having the Arabs take over the West Bank and Gaza. But I think going forward, Christian, you're going to see a change in tactics, a full military effort by Israel to take Gaza down like we did in Tokyo and Berlin.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
Just like we did in Tokyo and Berlin, the 1940s are back. They're so 2025. Just says that. Just says that as if thousands of people are not going to die. The idea that you destroy something to build it back up, in this case, is such it's such an affront to humanity. And for him just to say that in his air-conditioned little room, talking into that little microphone to that other person in a nice little air-conditioned room, as people are suffering, starving, children dying, because these politicians want power to avoid jail time like Netanyahu's bitch ass. It's so sick. And people see it for what it is. Even Donald Trump, a man who has espoused his unbelievable amounts of love towards Israel, has said, well, maybe things aren't going great.
Oh.
Even Donald Trump has looked at the images of starving children. One, speaking of false information, there was something that Israel is pointing to nonstop. There was one child that people said, look at this child, he's a starving Gaza child, and apparently he wasn't. So Israel's like, that means everything has been wrong about people suffering in Gaza. Yeah. No, that was a false piece of information. Okay, that doesn't negate all the real information that has come in. So Donald Trump has now said that he wants to give food and aid to the people suffering in Gaza. Let's play this clip. This changes his narrative quite a bit, and he's being pragmatic on this. Do I think for 1 second he is not? He is still in Netanyahu's butt pocket. There's no denying that. He is going to back Israel to the extreme in every possible way. But it does seem as if there is a small glimmer of hope for the people who are starving over there, as the United States government, headed by Donald Trump, is at the very least saying, yeah, maybe we need some food distribution centers. Maybe we do need to help these kids who are dying for no fault other than being born on the wrong piece of dirt. So let's play Trump here.
That's real starvation stuff. I see it. And you can't fake that. The people are screaming for the food, and they're 35, 40 yards away, and they won't let them because they have lines that are set up. And whether they're set up by Hamas or whoever, but they're very strict lines, so we have to get rid of those lines. But we're going to be getting some good, strong food. We can save a lot of people, so we're going to be even more involved. We did some airlifts before, some airdrops, and the people are running for it.
And now he shows a bunch of people with their hands extended, desperate for food. The way that he speaks, the people are running for it. It's the best food drop that's ever been dropped. People can't get enough. It's like this.
I've never seen someone run so fast.
They're not running into Coachella to catch Lady Gaga, if that's still a revolution. Chapel Roan. They're not rushing the gates to go to a concert. They are rushing to get food because their families are dying. I read one quote from a Gazan woman saying that they're humiliated. And I thought about that. And, you know, begging, you're an adult.
Yeah.
You've got children. You've got parents. To have to beg for food from these people. And if you look at the Israeli forces, what the average age is probably 24 years old. So you're looking at these children who are in control of the thing that you need, your lifeblood, the food, the water. Humiliation isn't even a strong enough term, but I thought that was such an interesting way to put it. You don't think about just the demoralization and the humiliation, how embarrassing the entire fucking thing is.
Oh, it's awful.
Which is like war. Oh, it was embarrassing.
Yeah, oops.
I survived the Holocaust. It was a bit of embarrassment.
God.
But it is so, you know, just when you think about autonomy, and we're always talking about autonomy here, and being, you know, in charge of your own life, and the right to make it to the top, you know, if you come from the bottom, which seems to be getting more and more difficult, but you can still do it and keep on trying. But to have that just completely stripped away from you by a regime that has zero concern for your well-being, they would rather see you dead without a doubt in Netanyahu's perfect world and his acolytes. If they would all just die tonight, they would be celebrating in the streets, so they wouldn't have to continue the process of dehousing, displacing, and straight up murdering these people because it's exhausting.
Yeah. And not even all that, like when they're actually going to get the aid that they need, from all around the world, there are companies sending salaried employees to stick cameras in their faces the whole time. It's just so brutal.
How do you feel about the new Coca-Cola product that you got? Do you like the new Coke Zero? I could actually go for full calorie. I'm starving.
Yeah, it has.
Well, we had a surplus of Coke Zero. It's not really popular anymore in the States.
Yeah, it has a heart on it for you.
Yeah, it's your name.
Thanks.
See, it says your name, Wendy. It says it around there. I'm not. Oh, your name's not Wendy. Today you're Wendy, bitch. Get the fuck out of here. So the pressure is coming after the U.S. pulled out of talks last week to try to broker a ceasefire. This war has been going on for 21 months now. They have accused Hamas of acting in bad faith. However, as we just played, Donald Trump has broke with Benjamin Netanyahu when it comes to the starvation and allowing the starvation to continue for the people of Gaza. So let's play a clip from Benjamin Netanyahu defending his actions, and then Donald Trump. There's a little tag clip of Donald Trump on there as well. But the fact that this man can sit here and say the things that he says with a straight face, he is, I don't care if you want to call it a genocide, call it a genocide. You want to call it a humanitarian nightmare, call it that. Whatever you want to call it, call Benjamin Netanyahu the piece of fucking trash that he is. And again, this man is on trial for corruption. This guy,
As we speak.
we have been playing clips for a while now on this show, but he has been talking about war in the Middle East since the mid-90s. Ever since he came to power, all he's ever wanted was the expansion of Israel and war and chaos in the Middle East financed by us. And the only way we're going to get him to stop is to stop giving him all the goddamn money. Although at this point, they have so much of our military equipment. They got the Iron Dome, which works pretty good. Not necessarily perfect, but pretty good.
Yeah.
They have had our backing now for, 60, 70 plus years. And because of that, they feel emboldened to act however the fuck they want to act. And that needs to change. We're big brother here, and we might have to give little brother a bit of a swirly and tell him to shape up.
Yeah.
Because he just ain't cool. But let's play the very uncool Benjamin Netanyahu.
Israel is presented as though we are applying a campaign of starvation in Gaza. What a bold-faced lie. There is no policy of starvation in Gaza, and there is no starvation in Gaza.
Oh.
Mr. President, Prime Minister Netanyahu said there's no starvation in Gaza. Do you agree with that assessment?
I don't know. I mean, based on television, I would say not particularly, because those children look very hungry. But we're giving a lot of money and a lot of food, and other nations are now stepping up.
So Benjamin Netanyahu, the classic gaslighting move, that's a bold-faced lie as he delivers a bold-faced lie. Let's go back to America. Senator Tim Kaine, you might remember him from 2016 when he ran with Hillary Clinton on the Clinton-Kaine ticket.
Oh.
God, maybe go to Wisconsin and Michigan.
Yeah.
If I could go back in time, in a political time machine, the most boring of all time machines, I would have told Hillary Clinton's campaign to check out those so-called blue wall states. All she needed to do was get Wisconsin and Michigan, and she would have been in the White House. But instead, her rural outreach team, this is true, her, not to rehash 2015, a little off on a tangent here, her rural outreach team was located in Park Slope, Brooklyn.
No.
So when you think of rural outreach, you think, oh, those people in Park Slope, Brooklyn, they're certainly going to understand the daily needs of people who live in a small town in Wisconsin or Michigan. Anyway, Tim Kaine, a Virginia Democrat, of course, this is what he had to say regarding Donald Trump. He says, I'm glad that the president is saying that this is a problem, but if we want to solve the problem, turn to the folks who have been doing this for decades. The Gaza Humanitarian Foundation, an Israeli-backed American contractor, opened 4 food distribution sites last month. Israel and the GHF said that the system was needed to prevent Hamas from siphoning off the aid. Now, the United Nations, they have been distributing food to Gaza throughout the war. When allowed, they have denied any significant diversion of aid by Hamas. So the UN is saying, no, it's not really Hamas that's taking the food. And now, as we've learned, It is actual IDF soldiers who are not letting the aid get to the people of Palestine, of Gaza specifically, because they want them gone. And now that they're saying that out loud, they're saying we're going to destroy everything. We're going to destroy their home. And some will be allowed back, but we're going to rebuild it better than ever. I mean, it's so obvious what's happening. And it's sad to me that there is still any political support for what Benjamin Netanyahu has done and how he has destabilized that region for a generation, another generation.
Yeah, they're talking about it like it's an apartment building. Like, oh, we'll just knock it down and rebuild it the way we want it.
Exactly.
That's fine.
Exactly. And it's simply not that simple. It never has been that simple, and it never will be that simple. So, all right. Well, those are the thoughts on Israel and Palestine. On the good side, it does look like people who were once completely blinded by the light of Israel, and again, not Israel, not their people. There's a strong protest movement against Netanyahu within Israel. Obviously, he does have some supporters there, without a doubt. But it looks as if the MAGA movement within the Republican Party has sort of shifted their views on how Israel is handling this war, which is a big contingency politically here in America. Obviously, you have, many left-leaning people who've been saying this for a long time, that what's going on there is not right. So hopefully this movement can continue to, at the very least right now, get these people fed. And then in the not so distant future say, hey, enough is enough. We can't continue to fund this. What the fuck are we funding? Why are we doing this?
Yeah.
And let's get back to some semblance of peace, please. Any comments?
Yeah, Chris is saying it would be way worse if they just came out and said starvation, cap. Vanessa's saying starvation and Epstein list. What are you all talking about? Is this some hip, young, new lingo I didn't know?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's all just people completely.
I mean, it's crazy. All right. Well, let's move on to the fantastic world of education.
WWE style.
WWE style. Actually, let's start with the positive thing.
Who wants to read here?
Who wants to read Macho Man Randy Savage style? I would love that.
That'd be awesome.
The presidential fitness test. This is positive. I actually am for this. So the presidential fitness test, apparently in 2012, Obama got rid of it.
Oh.
And this is something that we all had to do growing up.
Yeah.
And so you have to do it too, goddammit.
It's by grade. You had to do a certain amount of pull-ups, a certain amount of sit-ups, a certain amount of push-ups.
Your pants have to fall down in public. You have to be able to not do a pull-up and get laughed at. That's part of growing up. If you don't do that, you can't do anything.
Fall down and piss your pants doing the mile.
I ran a 16-minute mile. It was
Nice.
me and the chunky gal Mary in the back. And we were fine with it.
Yeah.
I walked half the time. Yeah, I got made fun of.
Yeah,
But that's the whole point.
That's
could
cool.
I reach my toes? No. Was I pre-diabetic in 7th grade? Yes.
Isn't everybody pre-diabetic?
Sure. Yeah, that's true. Until you are.
Yeah.
But the presidential fitness test. So this is a good thing, in my opinion, because if I suffered, you have to suffer. It was just signed into an executive. It was just signed. Trump just signed an executive order to reestablish it. I've got a clip here of Triple H talking about it. So Triple H was just at the White House. It's in the email that I just sent you.
Okay.
It's Triple H was just at the White House, and it's unbelievable.
Yes.
They actually posted this on their whatever social media feed.
I'm so excited.
It begins with Triple H walking through the halls of the White House. He opens up two, grand doors, takes a sip of his bottled water, and immediately spits it out like he was about to win the WWE Championship at SummerSlam. The caption is, the White House actually posted this, and they did. But on a more serious note, Triple H will be talking in a moment here about the importance of staying fit, staying healthy. I also understand the irony is most wrestlers die at 50. But
steroids.
In theory, they are in good shape.
Yeah.
And I do think that has changed. Wrestlers are going to start living longer now,
There is a wellness program now that they crack down on people for.
which is very good. So just a little background on the fitness test for the youths. Former President Eisenhower created the President's Council on Youth Fitness in 1956 amid concerns that Americans were not comparing well to Europeans. And we're like, oh my God, if we start becoming weaker than the brittle Brits, we have no chance of world domination. Yeah. A popular study at the time purported to measure muscle strength through 6 exercises and found 58% of American children failed in at least one area, compared with a single-digit share of European children. Eisenhower was like, that can't be. No way can we do that. So he says he wants to achieve, quote, a more completely fit American youth. Yeah. Then President-elect John F. Kennedy built on it when he published a Sports Illustrated piece called The Soft American. Americans have been soft for a minute.
Quite a while.
So even JFK, a man who could barely move his head and certainly had trouble there towards the end there, published a piece in Sports Illustrated called The Soft American. Then President Lyndon B. Johnson created a system whereby students performing at the top 15%, they receive an award from the president.
Yeah, a piece of paper.
You get a piece of paper. So who takes it? The test was typically administered to students in middle school and high school. And then it ended in 2012, 2013, after the Obama administration retired the presidential fitness test, which is actually weird because wasn't Michelle Obama on the Let's Move campaign?
Yeah, exactly.
Why did Obama get rid of this one? Out of all the big government things he did, some bad, some good, but of all the big government things he did, this was the one that they should have kept.
I know. It really makes no sense.
Anyway, let's play Triple H. It starts with him, just imagine as you listen, him walking through the halls of the White House, opening up those doors, stepping outside and spitting water out of his beautiful mouth.
Yeah.
Time to play the game.
Oh my God.
So weird.
I want to love it, but I hate that it's at the White House. I really do. Oh, man.
And then he speaks.
The same. Thank you to President Trump. Thank you for this honor. I'm humbled by it. I'm truly honored to be on this. Vice President Vance, thank you very much. Secretary Kennedy, truly appreciate all that everybody is doing for the health and wellness of the entire country. For me, since I was 14, this has been such an important part of my life. Health, fitness, sports, nutrition, all of it. I think learning that at a young age sets you up for success in life. And without it, you're at a lesser place for it. So I look forward to the opportunity to do this. I look forward to the opportunity to help make our youth healthy, help get them engaged in sports, and let them learn what it takes to be successful in life. So thank you very much for the honor. Thank you. Thank you.
Triple H, everybody. Time to play the game.
I got one of the presidential pieces of paper, awards.
Nice.
From Bill Clinton.
I didn't get one.
Well, he's getting blown.
Yeah, well, that's amazing.
He took time out of his day.
This cigar
blown to send me one.
This cigar tastes fishy. What is that? Some kind of code word?
Yeah.
You CIA? So that's a positive when it comes to the issues facing American education. I say bring the fitness test back. Let these kids suffer. Have their fat under tits sweat just like mine had to.
Yeah, baby. Swim with your shirt on.
Swim with your shirt on. I still do it and I don't care. I'm gonna do it. Only God gets to see me naked.
That's right.
On a more
Jerry.
And Dog Jerry, yeah. On a more serious note, let's talk about what's going on with Linda McMahon. Obviously, she is in charge of education in America. She is the Secretary of Education. She wants to shrink the department by 50% as of August 1st. She says this is a significant win for families. The administration is slashing education department as largely focused on restoring power to parents, as Donald Trump campaigned on in Washington, D.C. That is their line. So to clarify what's going on here, because there's been a lot of, I think, misconception. They're doing away with the Department of Education. They are minimizing the Department of Education for sure, but they still have all the money that has been given to them from us, the taxpayer, and it's up to them to allocate those funds to the states properly. And as of right now, they're not doing that. So it's extremely aggravating that they're not. So they argue that states can handle their education better than the federal government. Okay, fine. But then you need to give the funds that the federal government already has, you need to allocate those to the states so that they can then fund their education. And that's one of the issues happening right now. We have a clip on that, and it's Linda McMahon discussing how she doesn't know where the money is, and it's just infuriating. This actually is a clip that I believe is from Wisconsin, where Senator Tammy Baldwin is discussing where is the money for her students and for the people of Wisconsin. So let's play this clip. Do you have it there, Kyle? Mm-hmm. Let's play Tammy Baldwin talking to Linda McMahon about where's the money, McMahon?
Where's the money, Lebowski?
Are you going to allocate all of the funding Congress appropriated for students and schools in Wisconsin and across the country this year?
Well, Senator Baldwin, thank you very much for that question. And I understand your concerns. What we have done in putting forward our operating plan, the first operating plan to show where we were making allocations, and then followed up with the second operating plan.
This isn't a nuanced question.
Right.
Congress passed a law appropriating this funding. You said in your confirmation hearing that you would spend funding Congress appropriated. If the answer isn't simply yes, based on all of the evidence before us, that leads me to believe that you are planning to withhold funding and shortchange schools, students, and families across America.
Well, we're going to continue to look at the allocations, and we'd like to work with you as we continue to evaluate those programs.
We passed a continuing resolution that appropriated funding, and you said earlier that you were going to spend it as appropriated as is signed into law.
It's already been approved.
Yeah.
The House already approved it. The money is already spent. Give the money to the states. And so that, to me, is what's so aggravating. Okay. The federal government, the Department of Education, U.S. education hasn't exactly been through the roof. It hasn't been going great ever since the Department of Education was created. So I don't think it's some unbelievable entity that without that, education is going to crumble in our country. But if you don't fund the states that then are supposed to allocate those funds to their local school districts, then what do we have? We have absolutely nothing.
You got them looking at it, Ben.
Well, looking at what? They're looking. Literally, Tammy Baldwin out of Wisconsin, who won a really tight Senate race, asked the most basic question is, are you going to give us our money?
She's like, we'll take a peek.
We're going to take a peek. That's part one. Yeah. And then part two. What are we doing parts? What are the parts?
We'll work with you to take another look at it. Would you look at it? It's
ridiculous. This is a quote from Tanya Strozier. She is an educator and former principal in Arizona. This is from a little story I'm reading here. She says, if you think about it, why it even needed to exist? Well, it was because we needed a watchdog to protect students that have special needs, or, students from underserved communities. She says education is already a local level issue. On average, the federal education department administrators roughly 10% of public school funds nationwide. According to Megan Dagenfielder, the superintendent of public instruction in Wyoming, She has long said that states and not the federal government should handle education. She says our founding fathers designed our country, our government, in a way that states would have the ultimate authority when it comes to education. And they still do. Again, 90% of the funds for education come from within the state, 10% being allocated from the federal government. That seems like it will be dwindled away. Okay. But then, again, the government needs to give the money that we have already paid to those municipalities. And when it comes to people with special needs, we've seen them, cut SNAP programs, WIC programs. That needs to be protected.
Yeah.
Without a doubt. If you have, you need access, you need wheelchair access. In public schools, places that you're forced to fucking go to.
Yeah.
You don't get they say, 22% of Americans, their highest education is high school. Then about another 22, it's about, that's your bachelor's degree and so on and so forth. You're forced to go, and for the most part, or for many millions of Americans, that's going to be it for you.
Right.
That's going to be your peak education, and then obviously maybe you get a job in the field and you're smarter than everybody who went to college. Who the fuck knows? But when it comes to a traditional education, about 1/5 of Americans are going to peak out at high school. So they need to have access to every possible program, to everything that they can have access to learn as much as they possibly can in the short time that they're in school. So that needs to be protected across the board. One of the things that really pissed me off was this whole thing regarding student loans. It seems to me now the Department of Education is officially saying, fuck it, we're not in the business of education. Now we are in the business of debt collection. This is from Linda McMahon as well. This is the focus now of the Department of Education, is to make sure that overpriced school that you went to that got you a dog shit job where you can't afford to pay your fucking bills, even though you were promised, a fantasy, a beautiful house with a beautiful yard. And who is this beautiful wife? What is this beautiful life? You were promised that bullshit. Speaking of a psyop, and all you've been left with is debt. There was a small reprieve from the Biden administration, which I agreed with. And obviously now that is completely off the table. But let's play Linda McMahon talking about what her Department of Education is going to focus on.
Attention student loan borrowers enrolled in the SAVE plan. On August 1st, the Department of Education will resume charging interest on your loans. This change is required by law. When you take out a loan, you must pay it back. The Biden administration attempted loan forgiveness to win points with their voters, but federal courts have repeatedly ruled these actions are unlawful. The truth is, there is no such thing as loan forgiveness. It's just shifting debts from one party to another. The Trump administration will not allow the American taxpayer to take on debts that are not their own.
What? That's all we do.
The department stands ready to help you identify a new and legal repayment plan. If you are a borrower enrolled in the illegal SAVE plan, please visit studentaid.gov to learn about affordable repayment options.
Don't visit that. Don't visit that. No matter what, do not give them your information.
Hell no.
So not only do you have to repay the loan, they're going to charge you interest on that loan.
Good God. Didn't they get rid of a lot of student loans?
What's that?
Didn't they actually get rid of a lot of student loans?
They tried, and then that's been rescinded.
Oh,
because that was just that's the problem with presidents presiding with the stroke of a pen. All it takes is another pen stroke, and that is now officially gone. So yes, Linda McMahon also, just to point out how out of touch these people are. She's talking. I want to play this clip of her talking about artificial intelligence, and she doesn't even understand. She doesn't know what AI is. She calls it A1. like a steak sauce.
The steak sauce.
Like a steak sauce. And it's just so disturbing.
I'm going to stop these Worcestershire robots.
I know. These are the people. Linda did a great job in WWE.
Oh, she was great.
Let's be honest. She got chokeslammed by Kane.
Yeah.
She did some great role playing. She was a great actress.
They were probably sponsored by A1.
They were probably
It's just stuck in her head.
But holy shit, maybe the Department of Education isn't the best fit for her. Again, corporations and government, they are different. And when you start running the government like a corporation, there's a lot of people that are going to suffer. But let's play Linda McMahon here, and then we'll have a couple of more clips regarding American food stamps and poverty, and then we'll wrap it up for today.
There is a school system that's going to start making sure that first graders or even pre-Ks have A1 teaching every year starting that far down in the grades. And that's a wonderful thing. Kids are sponges. They just absorb everything. And so it wasn't all that long ago that we're going to have internet in our schools. Whoop. Now, okay, let's see A1 and how can that be helpful? How can it be?
Oh, God. Kids are sponges, you fucking moron. Oh, my
They
Lord.
need a sponge to wipe the A1 sauce off their face.
Right?
Jeez.
So that's the person who was in charge of our education, who was the person who was bragging about technology being brought into schools, including the wonderful condiment that is A1. And I'm actually going to backtrack. I'm going to do a Ben Kissel backtrack.
Oh.
You want to know why?
Why?
I don't like A1.
I don't either. I am a ketchup on steak guy, and I know a lot of people don't like it.
God, you're
Like
trash.
a little kid, it's the premier
Just butter.
condiment.
No, it's not.
Yeah.
A good steak. If I made you a steak, good thing I don't cook. And you put butter on it. I mean,
butter's good
I
on
mean,
it,
no,
too.
butter, not butter. I'm sorry. I put butter on it. Ketchup. I wouldn't do anything, but I would be like, mad at you.
Fucking piece of shit.
Be like, you fucking asshole.
Yeah, I'm trash.
By the way, Massachusetts number one in education.
It is?
It is.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Who would have thunk?
Oklahoma, I believe, was last. All right. Well, speaking of lastly, all of this has to do with economics. I want to play this one clip, two more clips here, and this is a woman who I think is actually, you know what? Just one more clip. The other clip is going to be about American fast food and American food, but we'll talk about American food on the next episode. So I'm going to play this clip here. No, the other one.
This one, Viola.
Yeah, let's play this clip of this woman talking about how difficult it is to live in poverty in America. And again, especially as we see the cuts happening across the board for programs that are supposed to help folks. And all of it ties into education, because a lot of the after-school programs, a lot of those things that underserved youths would participate in take place in the schools. So let's play this woman and we'll wrap it up.
There's something wrong in this country telling people it is okay to work 3 jobs, not see your kids, not see your loved ones, not take a vacation, and God forbid you get sick, okay? And I still got a job at home because I'm a mother. Because let's not forget, I don't get a day off. And I got to figure all that out. How are we going to eat? How are we going to pay rent? How are we going to pay the utility bills? That every single thing went up after COVID. Not one thing stayed the same except salaries. The only thing that stayed the same in this country is the minimum wage. Even though everything else went up, there is no scarcity. It is how do we pit people against each other so they're too distracted to see everything that I'm too addicted to consuming. And how much profit I'm making, and more profit, how many more houses one individual can have, how many yachts can one individual have, regardless of whether I am a female, male, whatever. I am a human being first. With what conscience are you criminalizing poverty?
Yep.
And it's not going to stop just in the United States. The poor of the world, not just this country, are fed up. And let's not leave out rural communities. I live in Haines City, Polk County, Florida, okay? But do you think that the poor in rural communities have transportation? They don't. There is absolutely not even a sidewalk to walk on, because I am giving the message of stay poor, stay hidden, and die silently, okay? If I get a job, how do I get to that job? If I even get it when I'm in a rural community.
Yep. Right. And of course, when it comes to education, the way that we fund our schools is based upon county. And so if you're in a poor county, you're going to have a poor school, and so on and so forth. And that is, I just thought that that's that speech was fantastic that she gave.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Really good.
It's so true.
And it's so true. And it starts with education. They kneecap you there. And then from there, you're going to get a worse job. And then from there, you're going to be in a worse neighborhood, so on and so forth.
Yeah.
And that's the vicious cycle of poverty, which is so difficult to break.
Yeah.
You can do it.
Yeah.
But God dang, it would be nice to have a little help every now and again. At the very least, stop making it more difficult than it has to be already.
Yeah. I took a sociology class in college, and they said it's about a 15% chance of being able to break out of the class that you were born into. And it's crazy. I don't know. I would assume I would hope it would be higher. But,
yeah, absolutely. We talk about like India. They have a caste system. When you're born in that caste system. What a shit country.
Yeah.
Well, it's the same thing here. But stay positive. Take care of yourself, and then you can help take care of others. But we have to be aware of the issues. And I'll tell you, this Department of Education, if you're going to limit it from a federal government perspective, as I just said many times, give the states the fucking money and stay out of it. Also, this whole interest rate on loans needs to be completely done away with. If I ran for no more interest on loans. It's already a loan. You're going to be taxed. We're taxed so freaking much, and interest is just another form of taxation for the government to go spend on wars overseas. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Ben Kissel Politics. Spread the word of the greatest political podcast going today. Kyle Plouffe, Ben Kissel, love yourself, be yourself, hail yourself. Talk to you soon. Bye.